Come on, guys, just write it in the chat box, right? What are y'all doing? Like, are y'all a student? Are y'all working? Which cities are y'all from? So that I know a little bit about my audience today. Okay, Bhavya. Hi, I'm Bhavya. I'm student, Emerald Heights. Okay, Bhavya. Hi, hello, hello. Hi, Kamalakshi, Chaitanya. I can see only two people replying. Come on, guys, make it a little bit interactive, okay? At least tell me which what are you all studying? You can do that at least. Devanshu, I'm pursuing a degree in engineering. That's great. See, guys, only if y'all be interactive, the session is gonna be fun, okay? So y'all have to interact a bit. At least if you don't want to start your videos, at least type it in the chat box. Hi, Seth. You're from New Delhi. That's great. Okay. I also, hello everybody. My name is Janvi, and I work with this company, and I am also a recent graduate. So I'm like on the same page with you all. Okay, so do you all know which sessions do we have today? We have like two sessions. Any idea? Just put a thumbs up if you all know what are the sessions. If no, put a thumbs down. Nobody? Public speaking, no. Yes, that is the second session, how to become a polished speaker. Before that, we have a session on basics of personal financial planning. So I'm sure it's going to be really, really, yeah, of course. Happy Teachers Day, everybody. And I hope all of you all wished your teachers as well. And of course, wish everybody, I would tell you all to wish everybody out there, because somewhere or the other, everybody teaches us a lesson. So it is like a really great thing. We have somebody as Dr. Unique Samantarai. Can you tell me what do you do? Because your name is like the doctor in the beginning. And then I'll start the introduction in like 2 minutes, and then we can go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, doc. Yeah, hello.
Okay. My name is Unique Samantray.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm a final year Bachelor of Veterinary Science student. So I'm basically a veterinary doctor.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We're really glad to have such smart and intellectual people like you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll now start with introduction so that we begin with the session like as soon. We have the speaker already. So, okay. So for the beginning, welcome, hello and good evening, everybody. And thank you so much for joining today's session with us. I'm really glad that you took time out on a Sunday evening to join our sessions. I will first tell you about this is going to be the itinerary for today, agenda. First, we'll be introducing Zzoko, the company who's launching this event. Then we're going to have Mr. Vivek SG, who will tell you about basics of personal financial planning. And then third and the end speaker would be Mr. Trupti Nachane, who will be talking about public speaking. So before we start, I would like to give you all some instructions. Raise your hand if you want to speak. Do not use foul languages. Do not interrupt when the speaker or the other participant is speaking. Do not spam the chat box, and fill the feedback form after the end of each session. Like when the first session ends, fill the feedback form, you will get the link. And after the second session ends, again, please fill the feedback form. Now I'll tell you a little bit about the journey of Zzoko. So before we start, it's really better for you to know what the platform is. So talking about Zzoko, the name itself is so intriguing, right? I mean, the meaning of the word Zzoko is passion. And we, the team of Zzoko, have come up with passion and desire to build an expert advisory ecosystem. Last year, when lockdown was announced and everything was closed, all businesses were shut, we were all locked in our homes. In an attempt to try out something useful and valuable for people, we started conducting live sessions and interviews by independent experts such as image consultants, nutritionists, and so on. Experts were so elated to team up as they were mostly freelancers without a big team supporting them. They were excited with the idea that live interviews would promote them and bring clients. Their excitement was a first hint that the sessions was an exciting idea. So after that, people actually started asking us about how they can reach out to those experts for one-on-one consultations. This was a second hint that our idea was working well. As days passed, we realized that the challenge was from the experts as well as the clients looking for these experts. People face problems finding the right guidance and their problems. And the challenges were not limited to specific sectors, but widespread across every sector, including MSMEs, students, corporates, wedding couples, manufacturing, and hospitality. This was our third and final hit that we need to solve these challenges. Hence, we proactively started to pursue this and created the Zzoko platform. The development journey has several ups and downs. However, we're proud to have sailed through. And today we're delighted to announce the fourth day of our launch. And I will now play the launch video for you all. Just a second. One second. So that was all for a launch video. Now I'll tell you a little bit of what Zzoko is. So with over 1.5 years of ideation and brainstorming, we have been successful in building a platform that aims at bridging the gap between people looking for experts and experts wanting to share their knowledge and expertise. We have a mission to transform the expert advisory industry and develop an expert marketplace, which will be a one-stop solution to all your personal and professional expert requirements. We have over 40 categories and several experts for you to assist with anything and everything. Just name the category and we have the best lineup of experts for you to choose from. We have a wide range of experts for individual categories. You do not have to travel miles to talk to these experts because we have brought them closer to you. Take consultations for your professional and personal requirements at the comfort of your home. The download links for the app will appear in the chat box. My team will put it there. Apart from that, just a little bit about the event. So when we launched Zzoko, we realized we launched it for the people and by the people. Hence, we thought that the launch event should also be for the people. Hence, we launched an event, which is an 8-day event wherein we'll have several speakers speaking about various topics about finance, social media, health, soft skills, and many more. Apart from that, we will also be having exciting gifts, multiple challenges, ebooks, certificates, pizzas, pastries, and many more. So now let's begin with the first speaker of the day. But before I do that, I will just let all of you all know there will be a link of a post in the chat box, which is an online contest. So today's Teachers' Day. So we thought we should know from people what exactly has something, an experience or a person or anything which has taught you a lesson. And you all can share that in that post. And 5 lucky winners will be getting free gift. The challenge ends tomorrow. So you all have a whole today to be the part of the challenge. The post link appears in the chat box. You all can check it. We'll now go to the first speaker of the day. We have Mr. Vivek SG. Mr. Vivek SG is SEBI Securities and Exchange Board investment advisor with a demonstrated history of working as a financial planning professional. He follows a life-centric approach to financial planning and focuses on individuals' family preferences and goals. He helps individuals manage their emotional behavior to money and helps them make informed decisions. He's skilled in investment advisory, management, mutual funds, and risk management. He's a strong finance professional with a certified financial planner focused in financial planning and services from CFP, FPSB. Thank you, sir. We're really glad to have you here, and over to you for your session.
Hi, great. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me here. Right, it's great to see people on a Sunday evening to listen about investing and how to manage finances. I think that's pretty important to understand how you progress. Without managing money, it kind of becomes difficult. So I'll be presenting my screen. Just confirm once you are able to have a look at this.
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Great. So we'll be progressing, and today we'll be talking about understanding how to manage personal finances and how do we look at the basics of having your financial plan in place. So what are the different elements that you should be aware of, and how do you create a structure around your personal finances so that you're able to achieve your goals in time, right? So what are the different elements of a financial plan and how? So here we have about 8 elements of a financial plan, starting with assessing yourself first, understanding how budgeting works, managing your personal finances by creating an emergency corpus, managing loans, how to mitigate risk, what does retirement planning involve, how do you work with goal planning, and how do you continuously learn more about financial planning and investments. So these are things that we'll be talking about today, and I'll be open to questions once we finish this. So you can either leave your questions in your chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask questions as well. So understanding personal finances or managing your personal finances starts with understanding yourself better. So it's not only about understanding where to invest, how to invest. That's where most people make a mistake, that they have undue focus on the financial instruments rather than your own life. So it starts with understanding yourself. So when we talk about knowing yourself better, it's about, like I said, understanding what are the different income sources that you have, where are you spending, what are different elements of your expenses, understanding your net worth, understanding what assets and liabilities you have, understand how do you save, spend, and invest. So managing money is not only about understanding different investment instruments, it's also about understanding how you take decisions around money. So the decisions around saving, spending, and investing are influenced by a lot of factors in our life. It could be your life journey, the circumstances that you've been in, your priorities, your preferences. All of these things shape your decisions around saving, spending, and investing. And so it's important for you to question how are you taking these decisions, and also understand what kind of biases you are carrying. So you could have biases around understanding a particular instrument. You might favor one type of instrument over another. You might have an aversion to something as well. So managing personal finances starts with understanding, questioning these decisions that you're taking, questioning the biases that you have, and seeing whether what you're doing is aligned with what you want to achieve, and ensuring that you're able to course correct if something needs to be changed. So this ensures that you don't repeat the same mistakes again and again, and you are better position to progress in your financial life, right? So what comes next is it's not about not about how much money you make. That's what Robert Kiyosaki tells us, right? It's about understanding how much money you're able to keep, how hard the money is working for you, and how long you're able to retain that money and ensure that the money is working for you. Right? So I'm sure Robert Kiyosaki is a popular name amongst us. He wrote the popular book named as Rich Dad Poor Dad, where he's spoken about understanding how money works, how you should be looking at your cash flows, um, and how you should be approaching money itself. Right. So when we're talking about understanding how you maintain your cash flow, it's about understanding how you budget, right? And following a disciplined cash flow mechanism is very critical. So creating a budget is understanding what is your money doing, where is it going, and having clarity as to um, where exactly each rupee that you've earned or spent is lying. So you need to categorize and identify different expenses that you have. So some are basic expenditures like food, clothing, shelter, which are mandatory in nature. And then you have discretionary expenses or lifestyle expenses like eating out, going for a vacation, buying gadgets, etc. So you need to categorize your different expenses that you have, and allocate or set limits, right? Saying that I would spend an X percentage of my income for this purpose and I will not exceed it. So that ensures that you have discipline um, with your expenses and your cash flows, and you need to differentiate and differentiate between needs and wants. You need to know um, what is a basic mandatory expense and what is just a want, right? Something that you can do without. Something might be you have expenses that are critical in nature and you cannot escape those, and you have expenses that can be postponed. So understanding these things will give you a better clarity. There are a lot of trackers that you can use, and there are a lot of financial apps that you can download, which give you clarity and understanding as to where exactly your money is going, right? So it gives you a differentiation between what you're spending on basic expenditures, what you're spending on travel, what you're spending on eating out. So it gives you more control over taking decisions and saying that this is the area where you have to reduce your expenditure, and it becomes more enabling for you. So budgeting is an exercise. So budgeting has a more negative connotation. Most people think that budgeting is kind of restrictive, but it's not restrictive. Following a proper budget ensures that you have savings, and the savings, when invested and channelized well, can really be empowering right, over a long period of time. So moving on, so we all go through a lot of uncertainties, right? Life has its own ups and downs, and the pandemic has really shaken up a lot of people where you've not prepared, right? So nothing, Greg McBride says that nothing helps us sleep better knowing that you have money tucked away for an emergency. So emergency planning or building an emergency corpus is pretty important. We've seen a lot of families get, in financial ruin now because they've had medical emergencies, they've lost jobs, and they're left to fend for themselves. So preparing for unexpected events, having a dedicated corpus that equals to 6 to 12 months of your mandatory expenses that can really help you fund your lifestyle and your expenses in if you're losing a job, if you have any other emergency, can really come in handy. So identify what your mandatory expenses are, like rent or EMIs, basic grocery expenses, and other living expenses that you cannot do without, and ensure that you tuck away some money, leave it in some money in your savings bank account, some money in bank FDs, and you can also explore liquid mutual funds. Liquid mutual funds are a type of mutual fund that invest in safer bonds and fixed income instruments. So preparing in advance, preparing to face unexpected events helps us ensure that our family does not face a lot of uh, uh, hardships in case of an uncertain event. So moving on next, once you have your emergency corpuses in place, it's also understanding how to manage debt. Right now, the urge to get things today and you take up a no-cost EMI or buy it on credit using your credit card can be really tempting. But it's important to manage your debt. Don't be chained down by debt, because having too much debt can really cause a lot of financial strain, and it works against you, right? And the worst among having debt is having a credit card debt. When you roll over your credit card debt, you're paying a very hefty interest rate. The interest rates on credit card can be between 24% to 48%, and sometimes even higher. So that's one of the most craziest things that people can do. So it's important to control your urge of spending now. Keep your limits under control. Don't roll over credit card debt. And if you have different kinds of debt, you can start with credit card debt. Then if you have a personal loan, clear off the loans that are costliest in nature, and ensure that if you're taking larger loans like a housing loan or any other loan like a car loan or etc., to ensure that your EMIs are under 25% of your income, which allows you to save a lot of money and invest towards your long-term goals. If your EMIs are high, you probably have very less savings to make investments for your long term. So important to not get into a debt trap that disturbs your peace of mind and does not allow you to sleep well at night. Right. So the next thing, right? Once you have these basic things under control, having an adequate emergency corpus, ensuring that you're out of debt, it also comes to the next stage of protecting ourselves and our loved ones from uncertainties in life. And risk mitigation plays a very important role in your personal finances. That acts as a solid foundation over which you can build your financial plan. So it's about understanding what are you doing, why are you doing, and how it can impact you and your loved ones over a period of time. So when we talk about risk mitigation, insurance is a very important tool that helps you overcome that, or ensures that the impact is lessened or spread out across many different people. But life insurance is kind of misunderstood and missold in India and world over. You need to understand the difference between what is term insurance and what is traditional, and the difference between term insurance and traditional life insurance instruments. So traditional life insurance instruments from LIC or any other private insurers, where they club both investment and insurance, leads you to not having good investment returns, and nor do you get good coverage. So traditional life insurance instruments like a money back or an endowment policy have a very low risk to low premium to risk cover ratio. For example, these policies are only allowed to give you a 10 times cover for the premium that you're paying. Which means that if you want a cover of 1 crore, then your premiums will be very, very high, right? That's the reason why you see that many people ending up having a traditional life insurance cover of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, without even thinking about how long can that money last for their dependents. So you need to understand that, and understand and assess what are the basic expenditures that your dependents will continue to incur in your absence, and what are the goals and aspirations that you have for them, so that if anything happens to you, they can receive a sum of money and use it for their day-to-day expenses and meeting long-term aspirations for them. I think the pandemic has really helped people realize the importance of mitigating risk, having the right kind of insurance instruments. So, life insurance, health insurance, having a critical illness cover, and a disability insurance are the basic things that you should have, and they should be a part of your basic financial hygiene. Without these things, you could and your family could really go through a lot of strain. It could also derail your other priorities, other responsibilities towards your families and your loved ones. So please start with understanding how you should mitigate risk, how you should manage risk, and what are the avenues that are available for you, and utilize all of them. So so that you don't and your loved ones don't face a shock later. So then, retirement planning and plan is a certainty, right? Someday we might not have a will to work, or our bodies and our state of mind might not allow us to work, or we might not want to work. So this is an eventuality, right? Retirement happens to everyone. We need to plan for it as early as possible. So it's better to start from your first paycheck, all right? So doing that ensures that you don't have a lot of financial strain, and delaying your retirement investments by 1 decade can lead you to having to increase your investment amount by 3 times. So start when you're young, even if it's a lesser amount of money that you need to invest, so that you don't have to face a shock of not being able to manage your finances in your retirement life. So what is retirement? Basically, it's a state of mind, or a phase of life where you don't want to work, and you want to ensure that you have financial independence, that you choose to work just only because you want to work, not work because there is a real need for you to generate income. So financial independence is very important. Understand that generating multiple sources of income and having passive sources of income can really liberate you. You need not have to wait till 60 years to reach financial independence or freedom. You can plan early. There are a lot of movements, like fire movements around retirement, where people are now wanting to retire by 40 to ensure that they have adequate resources, adequate cash flows to meet and sustain for the rest of their lifespan. One of the important things that you have to understand is the impact of inflation when you are planning for your retirement. Now, inflation and taxes are silent killers. They create big holes in your pocket. Inflation basically means that what is worth an X amount today will fall in value a year later. So what you're able to purchase today, you might not be able to purchase the same quantity or the value in the coming years. So it also means that there is a steady increase in the value of the goods that we purchase, and we have to catch up with it just to sustain our lifestyle, right? So if you're really into generating wealth, you should be choosing instruments that are able to beat inflation and taxes, and are able to provide you a positive real rate of return. So what are the different instruments that are available that beat inflation, right? A lot of us Indians are fascinated with fixed income. We don't want to take risk, but not taking risk is also a greater risk if you're not able to beat inflation and sustain your lifestyle. So you have instruments like that invest in equities. So under equities, you can, if you have the expertise and the time to study companies, you can choose direct stocks by understanding their financials better to see what kind of prospects they have. Or you can go through a portfolio manager or a mutual fund manager for you to help invest where you want to invest and what makes sense, so that you're able to beat inflation and accumulate the corpus that you require to meet your retirement expenses. A few factors that people don't understand is that as we age, the chances of us getting into medical emergencies or having high medical expenses are more likely. And you need to factor in and provide a lot of buffer for yourself to ensure that you don't have shocks later on. And then we would also want to leave a legacy for our children or for our loved ones or for a cause that or for a cause that we hold very close to our heart. So legacy planning, estate planning also is a very critical part of managing finances. If you have large assets, if you want to ensure that your dependents have clarity as to what they can expect, and what do you want to leave them for, so that they enjoy the fruits of your labor as well. It's important to structure it well, have clarity, note it down somewhere. All right, having a basic handwritten will also reduces a lot of confusion among your loved ones when you're not there. So retirement planning should consider all of these things. It's probably a time where you want to be more relaxed, not worry about money, to ensure that you can pursue things and experiences that you always wanted to have, right? Yeah. So the next thing is about planning for all other priorities that we have in life. So it's important to know, right? Lawrence Peter says that if you don't know where you're going, you will probably end up somewhere else, right? So it's important to understand why are you investing? What are the things that are close to you? What are your priorities? What are your preferences? Why do you need money? When do you need money? For what purpose do you need money? Having this clarity gives you a lot of understanding about how you should be approaching finances and how you should be looking at finances and managing your investments, right? So goal planning becomes a very important aspect about having an important component of your financial plan. So it drives us to work harder. It gives us a lot of motivation. You might want to buy a car, you might want to buy a house, you might want to travel the world and take a vacation for a couple of years. So it's about prioritizing what is important today, understanding where you should be allocating your money first, understanding that power of compounding and compound interest plays a very important role over a very long period of time. Starting early ensures that you have a lot of room. Your investments can really grow at a faster rate. So starting early, investing regularly towards your goals is very important. But before you start investing, you need to understand your risk profile. So risk profile is a very commonly spoken about, but what does that mean? It's about understanding three important things. Understanding your capability. Under capability, we are talking about understanding what is your income, what kind of assets have you already accumulated, and understanding what kind of dependence you have to see how well you can absorb financial shocks in life. So, and risk profile also talks about our own willingness to take risk, right? How calm can we remain during volatile times with investment instruments? Because volatility is a part of long-term investing and creating a meaningful portfolio with different instruments. You have to digest volatility. So if you get too perturbed with short volatilities in your investments, you're probably a more conservative and reserved investor. But if you're able to digest volatility for short periods of time and look at a longer picture, you have a larger capability to take risk, and then of course can invest in equity instruments, right? We are also driven by fear and greed. Right? So behaviorally, when you talk about your profile, you need to understand how we take decisions around money. If you're fearful, you're looking for safety, security, surety, or guarantee, and you end up investing in fixed income instruments without understanding how inflation and taxes can impact you. But if you're too greedy, you want to make money fast, you fall for get rich quick schemes, you don't understand the different characteristics of investment instruments, and you don't follow a process. And the risk here is that you could end up losing your principal itself. So all of these things are important to understand yourself better, so that you design an asset allocation for yourself. You create a proper diversification statement for you, for yourself, and for your investments, to see where should you be investing, how much money you should be investing, and where you and how should you progress with your investing schedule. So you have various investment instruments, investing in fixed income instruments like your bank FD, RD, you have your PPF, EPF, etc. All of these provide you a fixed rate of return. On the other hand, you have equity instruments which are very volatile, which invest in stocks or mutual funds. And then you have real estate, you have gold, you have alternate investment instruments. All of these can be a part of your portfolio, but you need to understand how much you should be allocating to each instrument. And that depends on your risk profile, that depends on your goal duration, how much time you have. So that once you are spending enough time in understanding these things, you get a clarity, and choosing different instruments becomes very easy, and for you to stay invested also becomes very important. All right. And then we also talk about understanding that investing is a continuous learning process. Like anything else in life, we continue to learn over a period of time. So you need to put in a lot of effort at the start. If you're a beginner, you need to understand basic concepts of investing, based how things would work. What are the different characteristics of investing? How does your own behavior influence your investing decisions? And what are your priorities? What are your preferences? So continuing to learn about investing is a very, very important aspect. So Henry Ford says that he who keeps learning stays young always. So it's all about putting in efforts to read about a lot of things, so that you increase your horizon and understanding. It's important that you pick a topic, build an interest in it, and go deep into it, so that you get to know the intricacies of a financial product or a strategy, or a way to invest, etc. And books and blogs are an excellent way for you to pick up these skills on your own. So there are a lot of books that you can refer to, and books can be really influencing. You're learning from other people's mistakes, and blogs are a way to understand what people have in mind, how do they pursue what is their experiences, etc. And there are tons and tons of personal finance courses. You have a lot of experts having seminars on personal finances, helping you pick up the integrity in all the minor details of how to invest, how to create a structure for your finances. And it all begins to implementing things, right? Without implementation, without following, and there is no success. So start implementing things that you learn, validate, and improvise, continuously learn things, and I wish you a lot of success with your financial journey. And open to questions now. If anyone wants to ask anything, I'm here to answer questions.
Guys, you all can ask him questions. You all can put it in the chat box and I can read it out to him. So we have a question from Vanshika. She says, how should an 18-year-old start with financial planning?
Yeah, Vanshika, great question, right? When you're young, you have a lot of time. It's about understanding the basics, all the things that I have mentioned here in this presentation. You can, so these are the things I'll just roll back on that. You can look at these 8 things and concentrate on all of these 8 things. So understanding yourself, creating a budget for yourself, build a emergency corpus, don't get into credit card loans, and and you know, manage your risk well, plan for your retirement, have a proper clarity of what your goals and priorities are, and continue to learn. So it's important to understand all of these things. You can start with the basics, have a good emergency corpus, uh, get yourself a good insurance cover, and then start investing. Right, invest by understanding basics about what is an equity instrument, what is a fixed income instrument, how much money you should be investing based on your goal. Understand the concept of compounding, understand the concept of how inflation and taxes can impact your goals. I guess that's how you start, Vanshika.
We have more. There's one person asking, one second. How can we come to know and when we should invest an income to secure a future?
Once again, how can we come to know how and when we should be investing our income to secure your future? Yeah, see, investing is a very integral part of you achieving your goals, right? So, without investing, if the money just lies in your bank account, it is not justice for the hard work that you've already put in. So, you need to assess different investment instruments, right? And understand the various characteristics. So, for example, FD gives you a fixed rate of return, but you need to understand that it does not beat inflation or it is not tax efficient. So once you understand these things, it becomes very clear for you, and you can progress towards investing and choosing different investment instruments, and starting to invest in them in a systematic and a disciplined way over a period of time.
We have one from Priya. She says, are LIC policies beneficial?
Yeah. So LIC is Life Insurance Corporation of India, and they have multiple policies, right? That help you mitigate the loss of life. So you need to understand what is the basic concept of having a life insurance in the first place. So there is a lot of confusion where people think that a life insurance instrument is a investment instrument or a tax saving instrument, but it's neither of them. All right, you have to look at life insurance purely as a risk mitigation tool, and most of the policies that you see are mixing both investment and insurance instruments. And when that mix happens, you get neither a good insurance instrument nor a good investment return. So you need to opt only for those insurance covers that are having pure risk mitigation feature, or pure term life insurance, which only addresses or enables you to make up for the loss of income for your family if you are not there today. Yeah.
Yeah. We have one question from Unique. He says, sir, there are loads of insurance schemes. How do you know which is best for us?
Yeah. So, like I just said, you should look at insurance instruments that only address the uh, risk mitigation aspect, right? So, if anything happens to you, your family will receive a sum of money which they can use to meet their day-to-day expenses and the goals. Or term life insurance. In a term life insurance, the premium to cover ratio is like about 1,000 times. For a 30-year-old, if they want 1 crore cover, it will cost you less than 10,000 rupees a year, right? So that's a very, very large cover that you have. when you compare it with a term with an insurance instrument that mixes both insurance and investment. So it's better to stay away from such products and focus only on term life insurance.
Uh, there is a person who asks, sir, can you share a few books where we could read about this topic?
Yeah. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is one book that you can read. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. And there is an excellent book named as The Psychology of Money. It's by Morgan Housel. It talks about various aspects of money through stories, and where it becomes very easy for you to understand what is being said, and you can implement a lot of things that would help you. Then
Okay.
for investing, you have Common Sense Investing. It's a very good book about how you can use basic concepts and build a investment portfolio. Then there is Behavior Gap by Carl Richards. Then you have One Page Financial Plan, which is a simple way to create a financial plan for yourself. So these are the books that you can start reading, and then you can move to more technical books like The Intelligent Investor and other related books that will help you go more deeper into understanding things.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have one question from Priya. She says, what is the best way to save and invest at the age of 25 to 30 when one starts earning?
Yeah, that's a great question again.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so I request all trolls to take a break and come back later. Yeah, so the best way to start investing at any age is by first ensuring that you have your basics in place. By basics, we mean that you have the right investment instrument. By basics, we mean that you have the right adequate corpus for taking care of emergency corpus. You have life insurance that takes care of your family's needs, and then starting to invest by understanding when do you need money. If you have a long duration to plan for, then you can move to equities. If you have goals that are short term in nature, anywhere less than 5 years, you need to probably take a more conservative approach. Understanding your own risk profile and investing. Why don't you just leave?
I'm really sorry. I'll just remove them. I'm trying to do that. Okay, I'll tell you about the next question. Till then, there's a person who's asking Vishal. He says, crypto investment. Can you tell us something about that?
Okay. So cryptos, I'm not a crypto expert, but what I do look for an investment instrument is by understanding first whether if it allows you, it has an intrinsic value wherein it can generate cash flows. All right. With cryptos, they don't really generate a cash flow because there is no investment instrument. There's no underlying asset here. It's all about supply and demand, and the supply and demand can really be rigged. You have a lot of famous personalities coming in and giving out a tweet, and that really influencing their valuations. So it's important to understand that a lot of it is not under your control today.
Okay. There is Chirag. He asks, how can I calculate how much risk can I take in an investment?
Yeah, so understanding risk is a personal factor. You need to understand what is your present financial status and situation, what assets you have, what kind of a backing you have to take risk, and how you can manage your money in terms of an uncertain event. So it's also about understanding how you can manage volatility over a long period of time, because when you're investing in equities, you will see a lot of market corrections that will come in. So if you're comfortable with a lot of volatility, it would mean that you have a higher risk appetite than other people. If you have a lot of assets, if you have different sources of income, then you have higher risk appetite or capability to take risk. If that is not the case, then you would have a lower appetite and you would have a lesser amount of risk-taking capability.
Okay. There's one question who asks, how can you tell us like a trick so that
Janvi? 1 second. Sir, just one thing I want to ask. I just want to tell, sir, on the right hand side, there will be 3 dots. You can just click on that and you can just off the mutation that people are doing on the screen. Actually, I have removed all those peoples who are creating the nuisance.
Okay. Where do I do that? Sorry.
I'm saying, sir, I've removed all those people who are creating these things. I'm really sorry. Just give me a minute for that.
Sure.
Okay, so there's a person who asks, any idea, a trick wherein we can realize which insurance company is the best?
When it comes to life insurance, right, you have a few metrics that will help you choose a life insurance provider. For example, you can understand what is their settlement ratio, understanding how many claims they're able to successfully pay out for people. And you also get to know how many insurance policies in absolute numbers also they are able to settle, right? That gives you a better understanding about how the company approaches people's claims and how they're able to settle. So the claim settlement ratio is one aspect. You can also look at the various features and the terms and conditions that are illustrated in the policy document for your better understanding. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't think we have any more questions. We could wait for a minute if they have any more, and then we can move forward.
Great.
There's a person, Chirag, he says, sir, is network marketing good?
That's an out of context question, but network marketing in terms of you generating an income, right? It helps you develop good skills. I'm not very sure about what products you are dealing with and how you want to proceed with it, but it does give you a few good skills wherein you are more aware about how you should be talking to people, how you can pitch about your product, and also increases your skill about various other interactive skills that you need to have as you progress.
Okay, so thank you so much. That was the last question for today.
That's great. That's great. Cool. It was good to be here. Thanks for having. I hope it did have an impact on people and people did enjoy it.
Surely. And thanks a lot for taking time on a Sunday evening and like on a weekend to come here and talk to everybody about a topic called finance and helping them manage their personal finance. And I'm sure they will take down this as like insights and they'll use it in their life ahead for sure.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Bye.
Good day. Bye. So I hope everybody liked that session by Vivek sir. And now we will move to the next speaker. But before that, I will again make you all remember about the task I told you all about Instagram. So I will show it to you. So this is, if you all can see my screen. this is my page. This is Zoko's page. So you all can follow it, guys. We have been bringing a lot of sessions for everybody. So it'll be really great if you all follow. And this is the post, the one with 5 prizes. 5 lucky winners will be winning prizes. Before these, we also had many tasks wherein people won cakes, pastries, pizzas. This is going to be like a big challenge wherein you all can learn a lot of things. So you all could enter the, one second. Yeah, so you all could enter the challenge, and of course you all one second. There's somebody who says I have to show the post again. So this is the post, and the page ID will appear in the chat box as well. The Instagram ID is ZZOKOHQ, Zoko HQ. So I will now share my screen with you all before we have. Oh, I hope you all can share, see the screen. If you all can just put a thumbs up in the chat box, if you all can see my screen. Guys, please stop with this drawings and mutations of yours. It's really, but anyway. Okay. So I will give you all 2 minutes so that you all can scan and download the Zzoko app and book free consultations with these experts who can talk to you about finance, startup, personality development, and a lot more things. Oh, 1 second.
Janvi,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
one thing. Click on adjust off the mutations. And guys, whosoever is
I'm
doing it,
trying to
this
do
is
it.
the last warning for you. Okay, the person who is named Ayush, this is the last warning for you. So it's better that you should not do this thing again. And all those who are doing, we have seen that. So it's better that you should not repeat it.
I'll just stop my screen share and share it again, and that's better.
Yeah, and you have off the mutation.
Yeah, I did.
And I have made the chat disabled for now, so there will be no chats, and also they won't be able to unmute themselves.
Okay.
So guys, it's better that you should not repeat this thing again, and if we found it, then a proper action will be taken against you, and we are serious about it. So it's better that you should behave.
Can I all see my screen now, guys? If yes, please let me know.
Yes, Jan, we can go ahead.
Okay. 1 second. So before I talk about the next speaker, I would request you all to download the Zzoko app. I was telling you all about it. So basically, Zzoko, on the Zzoko app, you have a button. You all can book consultations with experts from, like I said, about finance, about startup, about self-development, about resume building, everything and anything. And it is all virtual, so it becomes easy for you all to get consultations because you don't have to go there. So we'll now move on to our next speaker for the day, who will talk to you all. Who will talk to you all about okay, yeah. So who's going to talk to about how to be a polished speaker? 1 second. I think we'll give them a break for 2 minutes. These people are trying to, get the remote control. They're sending me requests, so I will have to wait for a minute, and then I'll start with the speaker. Okay, so we'll now start. So we have Mr. Trupti Nachane next. Ms. Trupti is an image management and a personal brand coach. She positively influences and enriches lives. She's a founder of Identity, the image management studio. With a keen interest and background in brand management, Trupti has had an enriching corporate journey through varied industries. From marketing at an Indian multinational conglomerate to visual merchandising for an FMCG major to managing quality of service delivery for a telecom major, she has done it all. She moved from managing product brands to managing personal brands 7 years back, and the journey has been fulfilling. She's a certified senior associate and former Thane chapter president, IMPA, that is Image Management Professional Association. She works with individuals from various backgrounds, corporates, and educational institutions, guiding them to build a winning identity. She also is a life skills educator for children and helps them to build and helps them to build personal effectiveness and social emotional intelligence. I would really thank Ms. Trupti for joining, and over to you. Do we have her here? Ma'am, do we have you here, Ms. Ma'am Trupti? Okay, I don't think she has joined as of yet. So what I will do is we can till then play a few games with you guys. Okay, so these I will tell you, I'll tell you all the series name. So I'll tell you all a dialogue basically, and you all can guess the series and the character, and you all can type it in the chat box. Until ma'am joins for the session, we could have like okay, we have her here. Okay, did she, ma'am? Are you here? Could you hear the introduction? Trupti ma'am, are you here?
Hi everyone. Yes, Janvi, I've just joined it.
Yeah, could you hear the introduction, or else it's better that I repeat it? One second.
Sorry, I just joined in.
No problem, no problem. We're really sorry. I'll just repeat it for you.
It's okay. I think if others have heard it, it's fine.
Okay, no worries. Then I'll
Yeah.
stop this screen and you can take it ahead.
Absolutely.
Is my screen share off now? Yeah, it is.
Yes. Hello everyone.
Just one request. There will be like 3 buttons on the right side. Could you just off the mutation, because I think there are a few trolls who have entered today and they're trying to destroy the vibe of the room.
What do you want me to do, Jan?
There would be 3 buttons, like 3 dots, wherein the more is written. Just click on that and off the
Ma'am, on the right hand side there will be 3 dots. Once you click on it, there will be option called off mutation. So after that, if you share this screen, and no one can create some nuisance by drawing something, so just off that before presenting.
Okay. The 3 dots I'm trying to find.
Ma'am, on the right hand side you will find it on the right hand side at the top.
Okay, fine.
Once you share the screen, then you will be able to find it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, right now I'm not able to see it. Right?
Yes, once you share, then please off it, then you can continue.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Very welcome to all of you who have joined in. And I hope you've been having a great weekend, and so have I. All right. So we are going to be talking a lot about speaking. Public speaking. How do you become a great speaker? What do you do? What are the things that you need to keep in mind about being a good speaker? So I missed my own introduction, but I am sure Janvi has done the job well, because I know she does a really good job of introducing. So anyways, my name is Trupti Nathane, and I'm an image and life skills educator. I help people to groom themselves to be a best version of themselves. So whether it is to do with your appearance or behavior, including etiquette, your communication skills, your speaking skills, I kind of cover it all. So it's like a 360-degree work that we do as image consultants. All right. So if you all are excited about this session, I want you all to put in a yes in the chat room, in the chat box. All right, Vaibhav is giving a thumbs up. Thank you. All right. Okay. Yes, thank you, Janvi. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Priya. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay. All right, so let me share the screen and we will get started. I hear that you all have been waiting for a bit. So thank you for your patience, and let me share my screen and not waste more time. All right. So first of all, Congratulations to Zzoko and the team for putting forward a great show and on the launching of the app. I'm very, very happy to be part of this mega launch event. Having said that, we're going to come back to the topic. Who doesn't like to be confident? Who doesn't like to be compelling? Or who doesn't like to be charming? Is there anyone here who doesn't enjoy being confident or charming? Okay, I forgot the three dots bit.
Yes, ma'am. Please do that. Otherwise, I don't know like why your people have entered today
And
and like
it's
they have
down, it's down. Disable the annotation for others.
Okay. Let me do that. All right.
Now if you can reshare, then only it will get remove the thing that at your screen. So you can reshare and then you can force the off the mutation and then you can continue.
Okay. Okay, so I'll stop sharing and reshare this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am, also you're sharing the screen. So if you could share the presentation directly. Now when you share the screen, even your face comes again, like it's coming twice.
Okay. So I'm sharing the slideshow now directly, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, we move ahead now. And I hope we do not have any beautiful drawings on the screen. All right, so what we're going to do is that we're going to talk about a few points that would help you to be a great Polish speaker. We all love to be adored. We all love to have our audience love us. Okay, so okay, there are people still walking in the room. Okay, and why not work on these skills that will help us to be good in whatever we do. So because we are all probably going to be different in our careers. We are probably going to be in different aspects of our work life. Yet there will be chances where you will have to speak, whether it is in front of the camera or whether it is going to be in front of your team members, or whether you have to present something to your bosses, or it's going to be that you actually are addressing huge crowds in front of you. So whatever is your situation, you'll still need to know this, these skills that will help you present better. Okay, so definitely knowing these skills are like a great ego booster. Yeah, and it will definitely help you to go places in your career. Okay, so whatever stream you are in is definitely going to help you. Okay, so we're going to go through what are the key main points that will help you to go through this in a great way. Okay, before we get started on all of that, I would really want to know one thing. What really terrifies you? What are the things that most terrify you? You can put in the chat box, please. Okay, say for example, lizards really terrify me. If there's a lizard in the room, I will walk away. So what is it that terrifies you? Nothing terrifies you? Super brave people. Okay, Vanshika says she has given a message saying losing loved ones. Yes, of course. Suparna is saying dark places. All right. Okay, fear of failure. So I'm getting all these as direct messages. If you all want, you all can change that message to everyone so everyone can read it. Forgetting stuff. Okay, that's fearful. All right. Fear of failure, being judged. All right. OCD disorder. That scares you. Pooja. Okay. Okay, fear of rejection. Yeah, valid. Unable to help someone. Okay. Future. Yeah, because it's uncertain, it can scare you. Yes. Not performing to your best. All right, shyness or may feel what other things. Yes, this is a common thing. What is everyone thinking about me? What do you think? What is, can I say this? Can I not say this? Okay, overthinking. Yes, overthinking. Sure, Vivek, thank you. Not able to complete tasks on time. Okay, so many fears are coming up. Fear of being successful. I think you meant to say unsuccessful. Okay, over workload. Yeah, that's stressful. Yes. All right. Okay, thank you so much for everyone who put in your fears. Yes, there are a lot of things that can terrify us and certain things we really avoid because it scares us. Simply, just we feel that I don't think I can do this because I'm not good enough, or what will the others say? Or okay, so there are so many fears that people carry around and move around in their lives. Yet there was this research done recently, and one of the biggest fears that came out was standing and speaking in front of people. Okay, so most commonly, 41% of people listed public speaking as their biggest fears. Okay, so if at all you feel that, yes, I think speaking in front of people is not something that I'm very comfortable with, then you have a lot of company because there are a lot of people who feel the same. Okay, so mastering this fear, overcoming this fear, getting comfortable speaking in front of public, in crowds, it can really boost your ego. It can also benefit your career a lot. All right. So what we are going to do is give you some great tips or some guidance on how to go about building this skill. Okay, so thank you about that. And I hope you're excited to know how to go about it. So first things first, what are we going to do when we are planning any kind of speech or any kind of talk, whom we are going to be addressing? Okay, what is the topic? Okay, if that is decided, then what? We are going to try and make it simple by putting it in a few points. All right, so I hope you are listening in and everything is clear. Everyone, good? Okay, just give me a moment. There's someone at the door. Hold on. All right. Very sorry about that. Okay, so let's get on to the first point. Okay, I have something in the chat here. Good. All right, thank you. Okay, so yes, I think you are looking forward. Let's look at what the first point says. Identifying who your audience is. All right, so if you want, you can be taking notes down here. Okay, so first things first, you need to take care who is your audience going to be. Are they youngsters? Okay, are they going to be really elderly people? Are they people from the corporate? So are they executives, or are they or are you going to be speaking at a very social and a friendly occasion? So what kind of audience do you have? What do you think their mood is going to be like? Are they friendly, or are they hostile? Like hostile meaning that they just want to disrupt the session, or they want to be heard. But okay, so how are these audience, how do you think they're going to be reacting? So for example, if you have a friendly audience and you know that they are a little bit familiar with the topic, you need to just reinforce their belief about certain things. Okay. However, if they are apathetic, like they do not care about the topic at all, then your job is to now convince them that, okay, this really matters for you. Okay. So this topic really matters for you. Now that's a different kind of scenario. Another thing is that maybe they're not apathetic, but they are uninformed. Okay, they are uninformed about what you're going to say. So now it is your job to create that awareness and share certain facts, certain statistics, certain pointers that so that the audience can benefit. So that is one aspect. What kind of audience or what kind of attitude are this or is this audience holding? Okay, that's one thing you will keep in mind. And second thing, what will be the language that you will be speaking in? Say, for example, if you have heard politicians speak, or if you have heard leaders speak, they will use a very, very formal language in certain places. However, if they are, at a particular location where there is a particular dialect that is being spoken, they will try to include that dialect in their speech. So they try to be one of the audience. So try to understand who your audience is, what is important to them, what do they want to hear, like what is the takeaway. Say, for example, you'll all, say around 40 people right now hearing me. So how did I, bring this point forward? Have I put together something in my mind, thinking who are these people going to be, what are they looking at, what do they want from this topic? Do you think they have any kind of preconceived notions about this topic? Okay, so always think, what is that one core message that you want to share from your entire presentation with this particular group of audience? All okay with this first point? Always think about who your audience is. Okay, so if you are okay, give me a thumbs up so that I can move ahead. Thumbs up. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. Okay. Next point. All right. What you want to share with the audience might be a lot of things. You might have 1,000 things to tell your audience. However, if you go on telling them everything that you know, okay, you're like very generous people and you want to share a lot, but will all of those points reach the audience? Will they have patience to hear you out in terms of, oh, you might miss them out, right? Because they might get distracted, or there's something else that's important and they're missing out on, because they are not interested in this. Okay, so anyways, what we need to do as speakers is make sure that you are creating some kind of an outline, some kind of a flow. Okay, so if you start getting distracted or going on different tangents, basically try to stay focused on the topic and create a flow so that people understand how it's going. Okay, so for example, there's a very common advice that says that if you're creating an outline for your speech, you kind of put it in 3 different boxes. First, you tell them what you're going to say. Second, you actually say it. And third, you finally tell them what you already said. So they're basically one core message that you want to give out. Of course, there'll be a way to tell that, but have that one core message fixed in your mind. Tell them you're going to give them that, then actually say it, and then finally tell them this is what I said. So that'll be your conclusion. Okay, so that's making a structured flow becomes very, very important. So when you are planning your speech, try to have a structure or a flow towards it. So your opening is important. Now, how do you open it? There could be various ways. You can ask a question, you can say some story, depends on the time that you have with you. Then you can give them some kind of an anecdote. Say, for example, you are talking about, say sports. Okay, you can give them an example from your own life or something that you have seen, and that becomes a story that becomes interesting. So try to create some kind of hook, as they say. Let them get hooked onto you So that beginning itself, they want to know what it is that you want to share. What it is that is in it for them is something that you want to share, right? So opening needs to be great. And so once the audience is hooked, then you move on to the body part where you're actually telling them about what you really want to tell them. And then finally you close it by say a summary, or maybe you give some important points out and you give it out for questions. All right. Or you can, in the end, you can also have like a good call for action. Okay. So you give them a message and you tell them that, okay, this is something that you can do. All right. Towards the end. All right. So that would be the flow. So what you need to keep in mind first, your audience, you plan the speech according to them. Then you need to prepare your speech by having some kind of a structure to it. Okay, so that would be your second point when you are thinking about giving a good speech. All right. Next point. How do you open? There are various ways you can open it. I think I already mentioned it. So you can use humor. Say something funny. Say, for example, when I opened the presentation, there was someone who wrote that big NE on my screen. All right. So Janvi helped me saying that, okay, ma'am, you can try and stop sharing and share again. Okay, that was unexpected for me. All right. So now what do I do? Can I make a big face about it and say, oh my God, what is this? Like, I am not expecting this. And or I had the choice to make fun of it or make light of it. And I say, okay, I hope there's no beautiful drawing coming up on the screen again. So what I do in that case, in that scenario, is that I try to make light of the situation and I try to make it funny. All right. So that's how you kind of connect with the audience. You want to tell them that you are part of them. All right. So which makes the connect between the serious audience and you much better. All right. So humor is something that you can use at the beginning. Using rhetorical questions. Who doesn't want to be confident? That's a rhetorical question. Obviously, everybody wants to be confident. Okay. So that's something that you can use. Or give them some shocking statistic. Like I said, okay, 41% of the people are actually fearful of public speaking. Did you even know that? Like, so many. And one of the most important fears is this. Did you even know that? So that's a shocking statistic. Okay, so that's something you can use in your beginning, in your opening of your, anecdotes and stories. Of course, yes, you can build a connect with the audience and engage with them by talking to them, converse with them, and tell them your story. Tell them how it is that you can talk about this topic. How do you build the credibility? Of course, the credibility also comes along with a certain kind of introduction that you can give for yourself. Okay. That was the opening part. When you come to the body, the main structure, what is the core of of your speech when you are in between of that? If you have huge, like I said, you have a lot of things to share, but you can't go on saying all of that. So if it's something very complicated, break it down into smaller chunks. That makes it easier for the audience to understand. Okay, always share to the audience, with the audience, that this is what I'm going to cover. Because if they are aware of what's coming up, it's easier for them to stay hooked on to you. If they don't know what's going to come up and you just go on and on and on saying something, then you might lose them. Okay, so be very clear about, okay, this is what I'm going to share with you. These are the tips and strategies that we are going to work on. Okay. Also, another point is the power of 3. Okay, I don't know if you all have heard it before, but if you have to share some, something very big, try and break it down into 3 parts. Like, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. Okay, so that's why even your structure can have a beginning, it can have a middle, and it can have an end. Simple. Okay, even in the middle, if you have multiple points to share in the middle, let's try and make it beginning, middle, and end. With everything, if you try to break it down into 3, it's easier to absorb for the audience, and it's also easier to say for you. So that's something that you can keep in mind when you are preparing for a speech. Try to have it in 3 different blocks as much as possible. Okay. Okay, certain do's and don'ts. Of course, do not directly read from the notes. It's okay to have notes. We can also use our PPTs for pointers, so that you do not want to miss out on major points. However, it would be really bad if you're going to continuously read from the notes. Okay, so eye contact is very important with your audience. Right now, my audience is blocked, of windows, but yet I just imagine if I look here and talk to you, or if I look here and talk to you, and like, okay, this. So it will actually be a little humiliating also, that I'm not paying attention to you all. I'm actually looking somewhere else. So it's not right. That's not even the right etiquette. So you have to, even if I'm looking at the camera, if I'm looking at the screen, I'm still trying to look at you. Okay, I'm trying to create an impression that I'm looking at you. Okay, so I would have loved to have all of you on camera and look back at me. However, it's okay. I understand that online zamana, and that's how it goes. All right, so it's okay. So try to have an eye contact with your audience. Have some notes in handy so that you do not miss out on major points. Also, how you say what you really want to say is very important. So your vocal notes, or how you modulate your voice, is very important. How do you use your body language is very important. Try to maintain a rapport with your audience, so which means that you can try to engage your audience a bit. All right, in the initial part. So if, for example, say you're nervous, okay, you're nervous about speaking. So the major part of the nervousness is in the first 2-3 minutes of your speech, all right, first 2-3 minutes of your talk. So hence it is advised that you write down word to word what it is that you're going to say in the first 2-3 minutes. Okay, the rest of it will flow. The rest of it, if you have the major pointers with you, you're gonna be able to say it well. However, if you are the ones who gets those butterflies in your tummy and there's a little nervousness, and that's also fine. If you are one of those, try to have your first 2-3 minutes absolutely well prepared and rehearsed, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Prepare notes for the rest, write down the key sections, and you're pretty much through. All right. Now what can happen is you need to be prepared for a plan B. Okay. Say for example, I was not able to share the screen today. Okay, something different happened. Like one example I already gave you, that someone wrote a big ME on the screen and I had to make light of it because it was unexpected. So yes, so there could be unexpected problems. Try to make light of it. Do not get flustered. Try to take things in your stride and go on with the actual objective of the day. The objective is to to share your talks so that you're either able to inform your audience about something, or you're able to influence them or convince them about something, or you're able to just entertain them. Okay, so whatever your objective is, or it could be a mix of these 3 main points, and you try to fulfill that objective come what may. Okay, so sometimes now, of course, if you think about it, what could be the different things that go wrong? Okay, you might lose out your maybe the electricity goes off, your Wi-Fi goes off. Now that's the common thing. That could be a problem in this age. Okay, or say for example, someone came at the door, so I had to okay, give me a moment, and I just come back. And sometimes you can't help it in a work from home situation, and you have to excuse yourself. Okay, so it's okay. Try to make light of the situation. Everybody understands. We are not here to prove a big point. Just try to make, give it your 100%, whatever is best possible. Okay, so let's just take a look at a few scenarios and see what happens. All right, I would really ideally love to have some volunteer who can unmute and speak. Okay, So first case is that time available to you is suddenly cut short to half the original time. How will you handle the situation? Say you have planned a speech, say I have a 1 hour talk to do, and now suddenly I come here and now they tell me that, okay, no, ma'am, you have just half an hour. Okay. How are you going to handle this? If, for example, that happens with you, anybody wants to come up and speak, how would you handle the situation? There is no right or wrong. Okay. So you can try. Yes, there's something in the chat. I'll shorten the points. Okay, Montek is saying he'll shorten the points. Yes, that's one way of doing it. Okay, don't go too lengthy in everything. That's one way you can save on the time. Perfect. Okay, someone says I'll leave some points. I will tell only the important facts and ask for any query. Very good, Nikita. Thank you. Explaining the main points. Yes, that's correct. Skip the intro and the conclusion maybe. Well, okay, that's a little risky. Yeah, you'll not go too deep into the topic. So you might have to pick on, I'll be crisp about the topic. Perfect, very good. Yeah, a lot of people are writing in, but that's very nice. Points which are most relevant to the topic. Very good. Thank you, Vivek, for that. Yeah, so you pick out the points that you think are most relevant right now, are most important that you cannot miss, or if you want to just quickly say all of them and say it in short. Okay, so you have to make quick choices at that moment. So like I said, there's nothing right or wrong. Okay, it's about how you manage the situation. It's like crisis management, right? So at that moment, if you think that, okay, this audience needs to know all the points and I shouldn't be missing out on any of the points, so you can say all the points, and because without that my talk seems it seems empty in the end or something like that. So you say all the points, but don't dive deep into each of them. Okay, so that's one way of saving time. Otherwise, you can just pick out the main points and the most relevant points and work on those very well instead of saying all of them and not doing deep work on each of them. If you think that, okay, today then you can announce right in the beginning, today I will be able to cover, out of the 10 points, I'm going to be covering, say, 5 points or on knowing certain things. Okay, so you can tell that or share that with the audience also, if your topic is such. All right, so that's also okay. Okay, people are still entering the room. All right, great. Okay, so all of those answers were good. Thank you for that. And we'll move on to the next one. Okay. Now, suppose that there is a group of people who are speaking, and someone else has already covered the points that you had planned to cover about a topic, about a particular topic. Okay, so someone has already said those points. What would you now do? Arey, isne to bol diya, now what to do? How will you address the situation like this? When someone else has already spoken the points that you wanted to cover in your speech. Okay, you all can write the message to everyone. Is that possible? Because I'm getting all direct messages. Okay, Chik, I'm reading it out anyways. Yes, so it happens in a GD. Yes, it does happen in group discussions, right? That, oh, you wanted to say this, and then, oh my God, someone has already said it, and someone else already said it, and you were not able to get into the discussion, and all your points are gone. Now, what do I do? Okay, if that happens, then how do you handle it? Okay, Nikita is saying, I will elaborate it better by giving a good and practical example. Okay, that's great way of looking at it. That's lovely. You can, if the concept has been shared, you give it, you back it up with an example. That is helpful for the audience. Yes. Yeah, Ria says, I second you on that, and cover the outliers. All right, great. Speaking the point that comes to my mind. All right, so if you have something else that comes to your mind on the spot, you can share at that point. Yes, Add extras to the points that have already been covered. Okay. Then there's someone who says, Weber, who says, I would like to add up to the, yeah, so that's a good way of putting that. I would like to add up to this person who has already spoken, and then you continue accordingly and add your points. Very well said, Weber. Thank you. Darsh is saying brainstorm new points. Yeah, if that's possible, very good. Yes, if there's something that, in your discussion, something new comes up, then you talk about those new points as well. Okay. See, all of you already know what to do. Okay. You can just tweak the words in more appropriate way, which is basically on current news, Vivek is saying. Okay, possible. Yeah. All right. Thank you for all the different inputs here. Good. So yes, if someone has already spoken the points, you can say that, yes, I agree to these points. You can show your acknowledgement to the points that you were anyways going to speak. So you acknowledge the person who has already said those points. You show your agreement, and then you move on to adding few extra points, or you go on to, like someone said, you go on to giving an example, or make it, you give your experience regarding it. Okay, so that's also a possibility. Yeah. All right. That was something that can happen. So these are certain unexpected things that can come up, right? Okay, so always remember to acknowledge the person who has already spoken. Okay. You are planning to use PowerPoint slides as part of your presentation, but your projector isn't working. This is a scenario where you have using a projector and stuff. Or maybe your share screen is not working. You were planning on using the slides as notes to remind yourself of what you were planning to say. Now, how you would handle the situation? Basically, you're left without a PPT and you're by yourself. How will you handle this? Come on, let's have it in the chat. Implementing plan B. So if you have a plan B, what is the plan B? Make a story of all the points. Very nice. That will be amazing, because then you're engaging the audience with your story. That's beautiful if you're able to do that. Okay. Anything else? All right. All right. Okay. So situations can happen. You have to think on the toes. So try to remember the major points of your presentation, basically, which means that you need to prepare. You need to make sure you need to rehearse before your presentation time what it is that you exactly wanted to say, so that you do not miss out on any points. In case certain things happens, then you can try to remember the points in by memory, or you can have a certain pointers handy with you that will help you to just take the major points, and then once you have the major point in front of you anyways, you know what to say it and say what it is. So have those major pointers as notes always handy with you, and that's your plan B basically. Okay, so yes, there are a few more inputs in the chat. Okay, explain orally what is in the PPT. Yes, correct. That's what he's saying. I already make a second plan because I knew this would happen. So prepare a short note so that you can recall. Yes, exactly what I said. So have a note handy, okay, with major pointers. Then Darsh says, I'll take some time before and write points on paper for my personal use. Very good. That's the way to go about it. Making it a two-way conversation with the audience. Very, very good. That's how you that's one of the strategies. See, because the more you engage with your audience, the more involved they are in your topic, and meanwhile you also get time to think. You also get time to think on toes what it is you're going to say next. Meanwhile, you've put in a question to the audience. The audience is answering, and you're getting that breather. You're getting that reader to think what it is that I'm going to say next. How am I going to put this ahead? All right. So that's again a win-win. Okay. Then there's someone who says explaining orally what is in the PPT. Yes, perfect. All right. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Okay, so I like how you all are thinking. This is very good. And those are really great inputs from all of you, all right? So perfect. Okay, everybody okay with the flow of the PPT? Everyone's fine. Can we move ahead? Right, people still coming into the room. Okay. Okay, now one last one, okay? Your presentation is scheduled to last for 30 minutes. You plan to speak for 20 minutes and then you take the questions. But when you open the floor to the questions, no one has any. How would you handle the situation? There are 10 minutes left and no one has any questions for you. So either they've understood everything or they've understood zero. What do you do? How do you handle this? Yeah, that happens, right? Sometimes it happens to the best of us. Okay, we ask, okay, fine. Now, is there? Do you have any questions? And then there's silence. Like, I don't know what to say. Okay, there are some few things coming in the chat. All right, I will ask questions related to my topic. You will ask the question yourself. Okay, that's one way to look at it. All right. Asking what they understand from my speech. Very good. Okay, you can ask them back. Very good. Ask questions to them. Yes, one way of looking at it. Perfect. Asking what they understand from my speech again. All right. Okay, yes. So you can ask them instead, what have they understood? Or you can maybe, sum it up yourself. Or you can give them a call for action that, okay, now if you all have all understood this so perfectly, why not do 1, 2, 3? Okay, so give them something to do, give them something to take back home and do. All right, some more points coming in. 1 second. There's a very useful one here. It says, give them your contact number or mail or social media IDs if they want to connect some other time. Yeah. So that's a good way. That thank you. I do not get the name of this person, but okay. Thank you for that. That's something that you can do. Yeah. In the end, you can share your contact details and so that they can get back to you when they wish to. That's a good way. Sum up again our points and web of saying, sum up again our points and emphasize more what I wanted and then move on. All right. Yes, that's what I said. You can sum up the points for everybody and then move on. All right. That's perfect. Okay, so give them a call for action, say thank you and move on. It's fine if people do not have questions. And it's also as a speaker, what you can do is have certain questions handy, anticipated questions handy. Say, for example, that this particular audience might have these questions. Okay, so you can have these questions handy for yourself. So in case there is no question, you can probably ask this question yourself. Okay, so and then take it from there. See, you can have a little more discussion in case you have more time remaining, right? Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next point, which is again a very, very, very important point for speakers. Okay, there's one more thing in the chat box that I missed. Okay, Bharti is saying have a fun quiz to engage people. Very well said, Bharti. Thank you. So yes, that's something that you can do. You can keep handy few activities, few, say, I don't know what to say, whether the icebreakers or some kind of engagement activities for the audience towards the end might work as well. Okay, so everything depends on how much time you have and how the flow has been, how has the energy been in the room. Okay, so that everything needs to fall in place and then you can take your call how you can handle that. Okay, so what kind of body language do you need to keep in mind when you're speaking? Okay, why is that important? Why is that important? As you can see, there's a little pie diagram over here in the bottom. Okay, the yellow, red and blue. The yellow one is the verbal, meaning that when I'm saying something to you or when I'm giving out a message to you, the impact, how much impact do my words have? That is the verbal component. Okay, how much is the verbal component important in creating that impact on you? And that, my dear friends, as you can see on the yellow part here, is just 7%. Only 7%. of the impact is done with your words. That does not mean that the content is not important. Your content is very important. Your knowledge is important. However, how you put forward that content or how I say what I say is very, very important, is much more important. So you can see the red component here in the pie diagram. That is how I say the words that I say. Okay, so how is my tone, or how is my pitch like? How is my volume? All right, how clear am I in my speech? The clarity in my words. Okay, do I stress on certain things? Do I emphasize? Do I pause? Do I wait for you to answer, or do I just go on speaking? Okay, so that is all very, very important. Something that we call as paralinguistics. Okay, so the vocal component of your speech is paralinguistics. That's also very important. That's your red component here, 38%. Okay, the remaining is 55%, and that is the non-verbal component or your body language, the visual component. All right, and that is why body language is of so much more importance in your speech. As a speaker, you have to be very, very careful about the kind of body language you are using. Okay, so that would be something that you have to keep in mind. Okay. All right, Rohit is asking in the chat box your LinkedIn profile link. Rohit, you can get it from Zzoko team. If Ujjwal and Janvi can probably help me with that. Okay, so that's how you're going to be able to connect with me, Rohit. Thank you for asking. Okay. All right, so the blue component is the body language, and it's very, very important. So what are the different aspects of body language that you will keep in mind as a speaker? So if, for example, you've just come on stage, or you've just come into the room, or you've just come on the camera. Okay, so what do you do? How do you handle it? You have to first engage with your audience, at least with a smile. So have a pleasing personality. That that doesn't mean that you have to do something very major. Just a good smile that tries to create a rapport with your audience is good enough in the beginning. Okay, 1 second, there is something else. Smiley face. Yes, so you have try to have a smile on your face in the beginning to make your audience comfortable, to make yourself comfortable also. Okay, so that's something, that's a powerful tool that you can use. So smile, be at peace, take your moment before you start speaking. Take a deep breath. Okay, take your moment to start saying what it is that you really want to say. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. Here it says divide eye contact. What does that mean, divide eye contact? Meaning that, say for example, you are on stage and you have a group of people sitting in front of you. Like right now, all my people are here in this little boxes over here. But in real life, like in an actual physical speech, you will have people sitting in different directions. Okay, so you cannot just look at one person, or you cannot look at just one direction when you are speaking. You will have to look at the room. You will have to engage all of them. You'll have to engage the entire room. Okay, so which means that you have to look in different directions and speak. Try to make eye contact with as many people as you can. Now, if you have a huge room with so many people, if you can, say, imagine you have hundreds of people, okay, can you make eye contact with 100 people? I don't think that's possible, right? So what you're going to do in that case, that's when I say divide eye contact. You divide the room into small chunks, all right? What you do is you have this group over on this side, you divide it into a chunk, you look in the middle of that chunk, okay? And you're trying to make eye contact with that group of people over there. Then another chunk of people, then another group, and that's how you'll try and keep eye contact with the entire room. Okay, that's something that you need to keep in mind. Okay, Montek has a question here. What if eye contact with people makes me nervous? That's exactly what you're going to do. Thank you for the question, Montek. So you in a room full of people, if there are many people, looking directly at a person may not first of all be possible. That's exactly when you try to create these chunks. Say, for example, there's this chunk over here. You do not have to look directly in the eye of anybody. You have to look at the center of that chunk that you have created. Okay. If there are a lot of people in the room, I'm talking about that case. In case you have few people and now you have to make eye contact. Now there's no way, you have to practice this, Montek. Now what you can do if eye contact makes you uncomfortable is that if direct eye contact is making you uncomfortable, you can have a region or an area on the person's face that you can look at. So as you can see that I'm pointing out from my nose to my forehead, is okay to look in this region to make an eye contact. Try and keep it here. That's a more friendly place to look at. This place is a little more intimidating. Can you imagine someone looking over here continuously? It will make you feel, you might get just freaked out. Like, what is it? Why is this person staring on my head? You know, so try to keep it in between over here. Okay, that's a friendly zone of eye contact, as we call it. Okay, so Montek, I hope that answers your question. Okay, use your gestures. Okay, say for example, I wanted to say that try to divide your speech into 3 different places, 3 different parts. So I said you have a beginning, you have a middle, and you have an end. Okay, so I am using my hands to make your mind go from the beginning till the end. All right, so try to use gestures and try to use the space that you have. Right now I have only so much space, so I'm using that space that is available to me. But if I have a big stage and if I have a mic in hand and I do not have to stand at one place, if I'm not expected to stand at one place, I would rather use the space well. Okay, so try to use the space well, use movement along with the speech. Keep calm. So it shows, okay, your body language really speaks a lot. So if you are calm, you will be more stable on stage. You will not be too jittery or fidgety with things. So that will really talk bad. So try not to have things that you will fidget with. You know, some people have these pens and they tuck 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 noise they'll keep making. So all of that try to avoid. Have everything off your hands. Nothing. Okay, just keep by yourself and try to practice being stable. Okay, so that's something you need to do. Keep a good posture. Okay, so all are these are little points that you need to keep in mind to and of course when you look at people and if you're asking a question, you know, use your arm, you know, use your hands, smile. All of these are different techniques that you will use to keep your audience engaged, and you know, I hope and hopefully you don't lose them. All right, so all good with the body language? Give me a thumbs up if everyone's okay, has learned something. Okay. Thank you, Divyanshu. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you. All right, Montek, thank you. Kamalakshmi. Kamalakshi. Okay, thank you then. All right, thank you so much. Chirag is saying thank you. All right, thank you, Shimli. All right. Perfect. Okay, great. So we'll move on now to another point, another important point. Your voice, which I already mentioned here, okay, which was the paralinguistics part, which is your vocal communication skills. So a few pointers for you to keep in mind when you are engaging with your audience. Be loud and clear so that they do not miss out on the words that you're speaking. So clarity is very, very important. Sometimes, you know, people do have an accent, and the other people who do not understand the accent, it might be a little difficult, and you need to, you know, work on that. And it's okay, because there are certain accents and you can't really help it. But clarity is very important when you are speaking in public. So even with the accent, you can try and be clear. Okay, so if it is some regional accent or if it's some international accent, whatever is the case, okay, you can still try and be more clear in your speech. So that comes with practice. So practice different variations of your speech. When I say practice variations, I mean to say practice talking loudly, practice talking softly, practice talking in a different, in an excited tone, practice talking in a very sad tone. So it depends on the topic and situation, right? Because your tone and your facial expressions, everything needs to match. So try to be have these different kind of exercises in your routine. Stress on powerful words. Okay, if you have something to say and that you need to stress on, you emphasize on that and you wait for the audience to assimilate that point. All right. Have effective pauses. Yeah, that's what I said. Avoid using slangs, of course. That's something that you're going to try and avoid in a public speech. Sound enthusiastic and confident. If you do not feel confident, fake it. Like someone said, if you all have not seen Amy Cuddy, maybe you all should just look up Amy Cuddy. I'm going to put that in the chat box so that you all can look at her. Okay. Someone you can follow. And she says, fake it till you make it. Okay, so if you do not feel confident, you have to fake it. The moment you fake it, you're trying to tell your body that you are confident, you are confident, you are confident. Okay, and then when you are showing that confidence in your body, now the body is sending signals to your brain. The moment your brain gets a signal that you're confident, okay, fine, you're confident, then that's how you're going to act it. Okay, so that's why using the right confident body language is very important. You need to keep telling and yourself to try and fake it if you're not ready for it yet. Okay, so, and then one fine day, of course, you're going to make it, right? Okay, so create a crowd pleasing speech. Okay, that depends on the topic, of course. Try and engage the audience is more important than anything else. Okay, that was about using your voice. And then, of course, you have all these nervous tension thing running around your body. So calm down, calm down, calm down. How do you calm down? What do you do to calm down? This my it's not moving ahead, my sweet. All right, here it goes. Okay. Darsh is saying something in chat box. He's saying, for me, sometimes I mispronounce some words, how to handle it. Okay, Darsh, I understand that can be a problem. See, there are certain words, if at all you do not know the real actual pronunciations, you need to check the pronunciations beforehand. If you're going to be using those words in your speech, you need to understand how to pronounce them in the right manner. So you need, that's a pre-work for you. That's a pre-work, not during the presentation. It will happen before the presentation. You'll have to check up on the actual pronunciations, how they are said. You have Google for it. You can listen to the audio and that will be helpful. Okay, so that's a pre-work that you have to do, Darsh. Okay, there's one more question here. Why people feel shy to give speech? Whom they known? Meaning that, are you saying that you would feel, why do people feel shy even in front of known people? Is that your question? Kamalakshi? Can you, if you want, you can unmute yourself and ask me. Okay. Yes, that's what she's saying. All right. So, being in front of people, knowing that everyone is looking at you and everyone is listening to you can be little flustering for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you know those people or if you do not know those people. The very fact that what will this person think about me? If this question is there in your mind, Kamalakshi, then it's going to create that kind of problem for you. So whether it is your, a group of relatives that you know even, or if it's a group of people that you see every day in office, okay, you will still have this thought in your mind that what is that person going to think about me? I hope I'm going to say it right. I hope I do not fumble. I do hope I do not make any mistake. Okay, so in that case, it doesn't matter who is it in front of you. The question is actually that you are thinking that what is the other person going to say about me? So this is the thought that you have to now erase out of your mind. So it doesn't matter whom you're going to speak to. Okay, so say, I don't know how many of you all are dancers, but if you have been dancers and you're on stage, it's a blackout, right? In the audience, you don't know, you can't see who is there sitting in front of you. In fact, it's nicer because you don't know who is there. But the moment the light comes on the audience and then you're seeing everybody's faces, you might get a little like, oh my God, they are looking at me and I'm dancing on stage. Okay, it's the same thing. So if you're able to look at the people, then it kind of gives you that nervous jitters. All right. So take this thought out of your mind that what is someone else going to think about you. You have to train your mind to think that I am here to fulfill this objective of passing on this message. This is important. My objective is this, and this is how I'm going to look, and this is my. So you need to train your mind to remove that aspect from your mind. Okay, what are other people going to think about me? So then whether it is people you don't know or people you know, it doesn't matter. I hope that helps, Kamalakshi. Okay. Bharti has a question, how to avoid fumbling in nervousness. Okay, that's exactly what I was coming to, Bharti. Whenever you feel that you are nervous, you can take a moment. You can take a moment and pause and take a deep breath. Of course, it doesn't have to be very obvious. Like right now, I'm doing this to show you all that, that, okay, take a deep breath and calm down. But somewhere in between your speech also, you can slow down and just breathe. Okay, even before you go in for a speech. So if you don't enter a speech where you're too fumbled and too rushed up. So make sure you're on time and you have that moment, you have that little moment by yourself before you start speaking. Tell yourself it's fine. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this well. Okay, so take that moment for yourself and then you will feel and you'll realize the moment you start practicing this every time and that nervousness is going to go out. Again, one more thing, I'm repeating this again. Most of the nervousness happens at the beginning, right at the beginning. So in between your speech, if you're going to fumble, and if by chance something happens and you fumble again, that's something you should not fluster. Again, I'm just taking the metaphor of a dancer. Imagine you forget a step and you lose out on a point and you lose out on a step. It's the same thing, right? So what do? You keep dancing. You continue dancing as a dancer. Same way as a speaker, you will continue speaking. You will take it forward from there. And mistakes happen by everyone, right? We're all humans. It's not like some superpower that there is, that you'll never fumble. It's okay to fumble once in a while, but you should know how to take it forward from there. Okay, it should not be like, oops, I did this. Don't do all of that. It's okay if there's a mistake. Take it in your stride and move ahead with dignity. Okay. I hope that's helpful, Bharti. And let me check if there's any more question. Okay, Divyanshu Singh. Okay, while standing on stage, sometimes legs are continuously shaking. In that time, what to do? Okay, that's a lot of nervousness, Divyanshu. If that happens with you, then you really need to work on your nervousness. If that's something, if your legs are shaky or if your hands are shivering, I have observed people like sometimes your fingers start shaking, right? That happens. So initial days, if you have that fear in you, like we said right at the beginning, you're not the only one. There are 41% of people who are going through this. They're feeling shaky at the beginning. So what do? You need to calm down. You need to relax. You need to practice these techniques as an everyday practice. Try to calm yourself about it. Try to practice. You can practice in front of the mirror. So take time out, meditate. Deep breathing is all helpful. Next important thing that you can do is visualize. Okay, so that's the last thing that I'm going to tell you. You are now going to practice visualizing yourself on stage. Okay, you're going to think. Okay, right now, if you want, you can do that as well. You can just close your eyes, take a moment, take a deep breath, visualize yourself on the stage. Okay, you are visualizing that you're confident about your topic. Okay, you know your topic very well. You are knowledgeable. You are great at public speaking skills. You're great at speaking skills. Okay, your audience loves you. You are able to engage well with the audience. This is everything you have to visualize. It's all in here and then it's in the real. Okay, so if you don't have it in here, it's not going to happen outside. Okay, so first in your mind, please. So take your time, close your eyes, and actually visualize that you are doing a great job on the stage. You're able to put forward your points with ease. You're able to remember the things that you wanted to say. Okay, you have a great memory, and you're able to engage your audience well. And everybody loves you. They're all applauding for you. Okay. So these two exercises, if you do, in the end, you're coming out as a winner. Okay, so there's these two exercises, you need to do it. Divyanshu, if you are someone who feels very, very nervous, then you need to make sure that this is something that you're going to practice and then overcome that nervousness. All right. I hope that helps. Okay, Priya says thanks, it was amazing. Most welcome, Priya. All right, I think we are done once again. I just don't want to miss out any messages. Okay, Vivek says it depends on your practice. Absolutely, it depends on your practice. You need to practice a lot for this. Okay, Nikita says, ma'am, sometimes people ask out of topic questions. How we will manage it, ma'am, when we do not know the answer? Very good question, Nikita. See, like I said, again, we are all humans. So like, we will fumble. We may not know everything. We are not someone who knows each and everything about everything on earth, right? So if it is something which is absolutely irrelevant to the topic, you can say that this is not a topic. I'm sorry to say, but this is not a topic of discussion. So maybe on another day we can discuss this. Okay, Nikita, if it's totally irrelevant, if it's relevant to your topic and yet you do not know, and that also is possible, right? Again, we're all humans, right? So it's possible at that time, if you really do not know, you can say, I am sorry, I do not know. That's a great question. I'm sorry, I do not know this. Maybe I haven't heard of it, or maybe I have not researched this aspect of the topic. Let me get back to you. Okay, take your time. Let me get back to you. Take the numbers and then actually do get back with your answers. Okay, so you can say that it's okay to say I do not know. Okay, it's okay to say I do not know. Rohit says, ma'am, when I sit down, I speak without nervousness, but when I go on stage, I feel nervous. Okay, that Rohit is completely all on practice. Okay, you have to stand in front of the mirror. Okay, you have to stand in front of the mirror and practice. Now, like I said, visualize. This is your stage. There are 100 people in front of you. How will you speak? Stand up and speak. This is your practice. If you sit and speak, maybe what you're doing is you're holding onto the table. Maybe you're holding onto your bottle or something else, something that's around you, holding onto it, and that's how you're okay. Okay, that it's a way, it's that's how our mind works. You're holding onto your chair and you're okay. Now leave everything, stand by yourself. No chair, no table, nothing. Just by yourself and practice. Nothing in your hands, nothing to hold. Okay, so if you have something that you can fidget with, if your phone, oh my God, everybody has a phone, no, all the time stuck to your bodies. So if you keep on fiddling with it, you get used to it. Then when you're on the stage, you have no phone, what to do? So keep everything away. All right, Rohit, you need to practice that. Okay, thank you. Someone says great session. Thank you so much. Nikita says thank you so much for this interactive session. Very helpful, and happy Teachers Day with a lot of respect. Thank you so much, Nikita. That was really nice of you. All right. Thank you everyone for being a great audience, and you all have been very interactive, and that has been helpful. So we have covered a lot of points to help yourself become great speakers. Try to know who your audience is, prepare your speech well, take care of your body language, your voice, and make sure you have some kind of plan B in place. Okay, so if you all have any more questions, you all can get to me through the Zzoko team, and I will be there to answer that for you. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out time on a Sunday evening and making sure that the session is so interactive and trying to answer all the questions these people are asking. I'm sure they really loved it. I could see that in the chat box, really.
My pleasure, Janvi. Thank you. It was really
And
fun.
again, happy Teachers' Day to you, like others said.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Janvi. That's nice of
Okay,
you.
so I think they might have asked all the questions they want to, but we'll give them a minute if they have any more, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, you'll have a minute. If you'll have any more questions, we can ask her before she leaves.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank
uh,
you, everyone.
Yes. Also, guys, please don't forget to fill the feedback form so that you get an e-certificate of attending the session on how to be a polished speaker. I don't think they have any more questions. They're very pretty clear with whatever you've told them. But
There was a lot of conversation that happened. So yeah.
yes, yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll also, guys, if you all want to book consultation with her, she's available on the Zzoko app, and you all can directly download the app and book one-to-one consultations with her and according to your desirable time. Once again, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Take
great
care.
evening. Bye.
Okay, so guys, the links of the the app download from the Android as well as the Apple is in the chat box. Apart from that, there's also a feedback link which you need to fill if you want the e-certificate. And also our Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp group, Telegram group, everything is linked to the chat box. Please make sure you all do it. And again, the Instagram challenge that is on till tomorrow. So make sure you all go and comment what one experience or which one teacher in life has been really great and what have they taught you. So it'll be really great, and we will be announcing 5 winners maybe tomorrow evening or day after. So you all could be eligible for that as well. And once again, thank you so much for coming for a session, and I hope you're taking something really good out of these sessions. We'll be having next session on the Wednesday, this coming Wednesday and Thursday. So you all can also attend those sessions. We will be sharing mails with you all, so make sure you all add Zzoko to your primary inbox. I'll wait for a minute and then we'll end the meeting. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for being. Yes, there is a link, Instagram challenge link. It is the link wherein you can go and take part in the contest. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for taking out time and coming for this session. And thank you so much for being such a great audience. I hope all of you all have a great evening. Bye bye. Please take care. We'll end the meeting in like in 3 minutes.